Week 11 must starts and sits, baby. Let's get it. What is up, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Tap. My name is Michael, and this is John. John, how are you doing this morning? We're recording in the morning.
Tired. I'm not a morning person, so
we're
here.
Yes.
We're here.
You're not a morning person or an early afternoon person either.
No, I'm an early afternoon person if I don't have anything to do in the early afternoon. So I take advantage of that time. I sleep.
More of a night owl.
I am very much a night owl.
Yes. Yeah. I have never experienced someone who can do what you do, John. Crazy. You know, stays up playing Xbox or doing whatever until 5 a.m. and then goes to work at 7. It's impressive.
No, worst case, it's 2. And it's not generous. Honestly, even if I try to put myself to bed at like 10 o'clock, get ready for bed, I'm all done. I'll lay down in bed and then I'll go on Instagram or TikTok or something and just end up scrolling for hours because I can't fall asleep.
Well, I'm sure those 3 bangs a day does not help. So
actually, it does. It's because of that afternoon nap, that crash.
Oh, man. Anyways, all righty. We got our week 11 must starts and sits. Before we do that, jump into that. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, like button, and the little bell icon. All right, let's jump into it. Week 11 must starts. John, hit us with your first must start.
All right, guys. So I'm going to start off the quarterback as always, and we're going back to someone who was really balling last season. I'm going to give you guys the recommendation of starting Ryan Tannehill this week, going up against the Houston Texans. So far this season, the Texans have been allowing quarterbacks to score 20 points per game and putting up an average of 400 passing yards per game. We have the opportunity of Ryan Tannehill with no Derrick Henry to find themselves in a situation where we're going to possibly see Ryan Tannehill throwing the ball like he used to. A.J. Brown last week was locked down pretty tightly, and they started getting some of the other people involved. But I do think that Tennessee will be able to turn it around and give Ryan Tannehill a great game against the Houston Texans.
Love it. I do like Ryan Tannehill this week. All right. My quarterback start of the week is Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, baby, is going to have a great week. Going up against the Las Vegas Raiders defense, who's back half of the field again as far as fantasy points against the quarterback. Listen to these stats, okay? Joe Burrow is currently 7th in passing yards. He's currently 2nd in yards per attempt, and he's also where'd it go? 4th in passing touchdowns with 20, throwing at a 7% touchdown rate right now. Listen, him, obviously, you know, the connection with Jamar Chase. He's got T. Higgins there. Joe Mixon can also catch the ball going up against this Las Vegas Raiders defense, who they've been going through a lot this year. I mean, they've been going through a lot, and we've seen it's hard. They did pretty well, you know, the first couple of trials they went through, as far as the head coaching change and things like that. But honestly, I think it's a little bit too much for them. We start to see him decline, and they're playing in Cincinnati. I think it's going to be a great day for the Bengals in general, but Joe Burrow, I think he's going to finish as a mid to potentially even high end quarterback 1.
Ooh, spicy. All right. Let's mix it up a little bit this time. We usually go right into our next start, and then we'll go into our running back starts, but let's jump into our quarterback sit next, and we'll just do that position by position. My quarterback sit of the week is actually going to be Taylor Heineke, and that's going to be him coming off of an amazing day of him getting his revenge of beating Tom Brady. As we all know, he played against Tom Brady last year in the postseason and played the best against him. And this year so far, Taylor Heineke just came off of a 250-yard, 1-touchdown day. Going up against Carolina's defense, though, I think we might have a little bit of an issue there going for him as well, that Carolina does have Cam Newton coming in, which means that there's the opportunity for them to extend some drives, keeping the ball out of Washington's hands a little bit longer this week. And it being a game where we don't expect Washington to take an early lead early on and keep it going the entire time. Heineke is more than likely going to be in a game where he's going to be throwing the ball, and he is very prone to making mistakes. So far this season, he has given up the ball pretty frequently having multiple games of 2 or more interceptions, 3 games of 2 or more interceptions, and 2 games of a single one. I think that we're going to have him turn over the ball, and Carolina's defense is going to stop him in entirety. He's a boomer bust quarterback that has just come off of a slight boom, so expect a slight bust.
All right. All righty. I can totally see that. But let's jump into mine. That is Carson Wentz. Listen, I've been singing this guy's praises all year long, being that he's been one of the most consistent fantasy quarterbacks. He's really only had, including last week, 2 bust weeks, and that was one of them was against the Jacksonville Jaguars last week. But this week, he's going into Buffalo, playing in the cold, okay? And it's going to be against the pretty much the number one defense in the league, especially as far as fantasy points go. They've only allowed an average of 10 points to the running back position, which is absolutely wild. And to be honest, I think that if they want to win, I think it's going to have to be on the back of Jonathan Taylor. I mean, I just think that's kind of the way that it's going to have to go. Also, Sunday, it's not the coldest of days. It's only projected to be, it's a high of 48, low of 33. It is supposed to be, there is a 63% chance of rain though. So potential little bit of a rainy game. Plus I don't think that Carson's going to, I just think this defense is going to over match Carson and his abilities. I could see a couple interceptions and some rushing touchdowns, if anything. So I am staying away from Carson Wentz this week.
I like that a lot. I'm going to agree with you there. I like it so much. He would have been mine. But I like Heineke even less. All right, so going over to the running back start of the week, I'm going to be taking advantage of the matchup against the New York Jets and be playing Myles Gaskin. Over the past 4 weeks, the New York Jets have been allowing 47 points to the running backs. Now, obviously, we know that's weeks after we just saw the Ramondre Stevenson take off a huge game, and we've had the Jets come into situations where they've just been blown out and given up. And hey, let's ride the wave here. Myles Gaskin has had 3 weeks finishing as a running back 1 on the week. And those 3 weeks are the only weeks where he's been able to get in the end zone. And 2 of those weeks finding 2 receiving touchdowns. Now, I do think that we have a great opportunity for the Jets to give up some rushing touchdowns to our guys, Myles Gaskin, as they have given up 11 on the season with the next, or 11 in the last 4 weeks, with the next closest being the Cleveland Browns, who've given up 5. So I do think that there's a great opportunity for Myles Gaskin to get rolling here. We have seen him play throughout the season, and he's definitely someone that shows really, really hot flashes when he's in a good game script and moving in the right way. But I don't want to say that he's a locked in running back 1 of the week, but give him that top 5 upside with a running back 2 floor, and you're looking pretty solid.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. All right. It's going to be raining everywhere this week. Okay. Not everywhere, but my start of the week is Naji Harris. Listen, obviously he's the only running back there. He's getting, 20 plus touches a game, 25 plus touches a game. Last week he got 30. So going up against the LA Chargers, who have been pretty consistent as far as allowing points to the running back. Over the season, they've averaged 27 points to the running back. The last 4 weeks, it was about 25. And then the last 2 weeks, it's about 26. So they're pretty consistent as far as allowing points to the running back. And it's going to be rainy in Pittsburgh. It's going to be rainy, 86% chance of rain on Sunday. And it's going to be a Naji day. So I think with all that said, play Naji Harris. I think we see a top 5 running back this week from him.
Top 5. I think it's possible. He's been balling out all season. One of the most consistent rookies out of the class so far. So I think that's a really great grab there. Let's jump into my running back sit of the week. That's going to be Devonta Freeman. Now, this is coming off of the news that Le'Veon Bell was waived by the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, Latavius Murray is expected to come back this week, but as of Thursday, he was limited throughout practice. And then that does leave some opportunity for Tyson Williams to come in. So there might be a few people out there that are like, hey, I just need to get by this week. Let me throw in Devonta Freeman. Let me just stop you where you're sitting right now and say, do not do that. Let's be a little bit smarter, guys. Though he did have one great week back in week 9 where he finished as the running back 9 of the week. It was a slow week, and they're going up against Chicago. We don't expect him to be getting any more than 10 touches. Last week, he got a total of 14 opportunities, and that is pretty much the cap of what we can expect from him. I don't see him breaking any big runs away against the Chicago Bears, and I don't see him in a situation where they're going to be using him in the red zone, especially if Latavius Murray does come back. So as of right now, Devonta Freeman is an absolute must sit. Do not play. Do not even look at him. You might want to even just drop him off your bench.
All right. Wow. Okay. I don't know if you dropped him just yet, but I think we got to see what happens with Latavius Murray. All right, my running back sit of the week is, and there's an asterisk next to this, Miles Sanders, asterisk, or all Philly running backs. If Miles Sanders doesn't play.
So all Philly running backs.
Yes, pretty much. Listen, going up against that New Orleans defense, they are monsters against the run. They've been very, very good against the run. And it's just not a good matchup. It's not a good matchup. If Miles Sanders does play, he is designated to come back from IR. He could come back this week, but he was not getting used at all or not very well, at least. Well, really not at all. When he was healthy, I don't trust that offense. And yes, Jordan Howard and Boston Scott have shown flashes, but going up against this run defense of the New Orleans Saints, I don't trust either of them. So I'm not playing any Philadelphia running backs this week.
Yeah, I would agree with you. We've been a little baited here and there by who we're gonna play out of that backfield, and each week it seems to change without any explanation of what's going on. So avoiding it in an entirety isn't a bad idea at all, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna sit with you there and agree.
Dope.
All right, let me jump into my wide receiver start of the week. And that is going to be Brandon Cooks. I love this guy throughout the season. I've been singing his praises, just as Mike has been singing Carson Wentz. And about half the time, I've been doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. But now that we have Tyrod Taylor coming back, we thought last 2 weeks ago would have been the reemergence of Brandon Cooks' excellence going against the Dolphins, but we seem to shut Tyrod down pretty quickly. This week, they're going to go against the Tennessee Titans. They have been a defense that has been looking a lot better, shutting quarterbacks down, shutting teams down. They've been allowing the wide receivers to get 47.5 points over the past 4 weeks. And with Tyrod Taylor just coming off this bye week, Brandon Cooks just coming off this bye week, hopefully they can have an opportunity to get that connection building back again. And we can see Brandon Cooks finishing as a top 10 wide receiver on the week against Tennessee. We've seen it multiple times this season, and I think that we're going to be able to see it again.
Yes. I love that. Love Brandon Cooks. I have been turned into a Brandon Cooks truther thanks to John. Thank you for that, John.
Free Cooks.
Yeah, free Cooks. All right, my wide receiver start of the week is Jalen Waddle. He didn't see the most targets this past week, but it was a half Jacoby Brissett, half Tua game going up against the New York Jets defense, who have been allowing the most points to the wide receiver. No Devontae Parker, no Will Fuller, still only Mike Gesicki and Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle, I think, is going to see another double-digit target week this week. So praying he gets in the end zone as well. He does it sporadically. Actually, he did it. He got in the end zone the first week. 4 weeks went by. Got in the end zone again. Guess what? 4 weeks have gone by. Jalen Waddle gets a touchdown this week. So we're going to keep the streak going, or the little pattern there. But anyways, up against this future defense, I think he sees a lot of targets. And I think he also maybe sees a big play. Maybe even a big play touchdown. Something we've all been waiting for.
Big play opportunity coming from the small guy.
Yep, love it. Dude's a monster. You know he has a better contested catch rate than Devontae Parker.
Really?
Yes. Yep. So
well, he also, yeah. Pretty good.
Love it. So Jalen Waddle, start of the week. Dude's going to be a monster. Did you see? I told you about, I think I mentioned it on the show, what Marlon Humphrey tweeted out.
Oh, that he's going to be a
top 10 receiver next year.
He's a top 10 receiver right now.
Yeah. Not in fantasy.
Right. No, fantasy and skill set, two different things. Speaking of fantasy and skill set, let's talk about a guy that is insanely talented, but you should not be playing in fantasy this week. Mike, hold on. Don't fall out of your chair. I'm going to tell you guys, don't play Michael Pittman.
All right.
I think Michael Pittman's in for another bust game, and that's going to come on the fact that we're looking at Carson Wentz going up against the Buffalo Bills. And as Mike has him as his sit of the week, I'm not expecting his receivers to be faring much better. The Buffalo Bills haven't been allowing the quarterbacks to be scoring any points, and they've not been allowing the receivers to do anything either, only allowing 26.5 points to the fantasy receiver over the past 4 weeks. Yes, we know Michael Pittman is a beast, and he should be able to, get by just with any defense. But we haven't seen him have the best games. And I'm not saying that T.Y. Hilton, the best games when T.Y. Hilton's come back. I'm not saying that T.Y. Hilton's the one that's taking the targets away from him, the one that's allowing the productivity to not be there. It just seems to just be more of a bad jinx. The week where we saw Michael Pittman finish as the wide receiver 2 on a week was the week we saw T.Y. Hilton go down after about a quarter of the game. And Michael Pittman started going off after that happened. Almost like it's like, hey, Hex is removed. The bad juju is off the field. We can start balling again. Well, Ty is going to be playing this week and going up against Tre'Davious White and the rest of that Buffalo'sville defense. I'm going to sit Michael Pittman. At best, he shouldn't be looking at like a wide receiver 3, maybe a high end 4 for you this week.
All righty. All right. Love it. Thanks, John. Yeah, I'm a little worried about Michael Pittman. I have to start him in a couple leagues. And like I said, I don't like this matchup. The weather, the defense. I think it might be a rough one for the Indianapolis Colts. So, my wide receiver sit of the week is going to be Darnell Mooney. Okay, listen, he's coming off of a bye week, has had a stretch of 2 games prior to that bye week that was very good, and then some sporadic games here and there. He's definitely that team's number 1 wide receiver. Allen Robinson is just not getting involved. But this is why I'm concerned. The Ravens are okay against the wide receiver. They're middle of the pack. I mean, actually kind of in the back end. But they're coming off of a massive loss to the Dolphins. Huge loss. And I think this is a team they can beat up on. They can lay it on. And their defense, they have a good defense, an overall good defense. So I think it's going to be a rough day for Justin Fields. I think it's going to be a rough day for Darnell Mooney. David Montgomery, even him, I'm a little worried about, but, I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to have a bit bounce back week in a big way. And unfortunately it's to the, detriment of the Chicago Bears.
All right. Well, I still got hope for my guy. I think he's going to do okay. No, realistically,
it wasn't very convincing.
It was, it's the same situation I have here with Pittman, except Pittman's got a higher natural ceiling. But yeah, I like the player. I think there's a chance they can have a decent day, but just based on all predetermined factors, we're looking at a bad opportunity for him, though we could be surprised.
Yeah.
Sticking with that Ravens Bears game, my tight end start of the week is actually going to be someone I've given a lot of crap to. We're going to go back down this well with Cole Kmet. Hey. I got to make him my start of the week so he can actually bust and I can start talking crap about him again. But over the past 3 weeks, bold move. He's been getting 22% of the targets for Chicago the past 3 weeks, even though Justin Fields has not been throwing the ball more than 26 times per game on average. So big chunk of that small target share. Best thing about it is, though, he has been getting chunk plays, averaging just under 12.5 yards per reception, meaning that he's moving the ball down the field. And if we can see him start taking some more chunk plays, maybe to the end zone, maybe let Justin Fields not feel so pressured in that red zone, get your big body in that red zone, we can get a touchdown on the day, and we can see Cole Kmet finish as a mid-range tight end 1 on the week. I'm expecting him to at least get another 5 5 catches this week, going up against Baltimore, who earlier in the season was the team to pick on when it comes to the tight end. So hopefully we can have it happen again.
All right. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. My tight end start of the week is Dalton Schultz going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Listen, the over-under right now is set at 56.5 points for this game. Crazy. And it's going to go higher. The odds are already minus 115 for over 56.5. I might actually take the under. But I think it's going to be very, just like everybody else, I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. The Kansas City Chiefs have been actually very good against the tight end. However, Dalton Schultz, with all of the targets that Dak Prescott and that offense has, he's still receiving a 15.7% target share and 10% in the red zone. I like to see that. He's also got 51 targets on the year, and he's on the field the most. He's got 38 receptions, which is 8th amongst tight ends. He had a bad week going up against Atlanta. He was on the field for 66% of the time, but only 2 targets. However, I think with the high scoring probability that this game has, on top of everything else we've seen from Dalton Schultz, I think we see a tight end 1 this week. He's going to have a bounce back week. He did it in weeks 2 and 3. He had 2 targets, caught 2 of them in week 2. Week 3, he comes out and puts up 26 fantasy points, 2 touchdowns. So I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but I like his chances, and I like the probability that Dalton Schultz is a tight end 1 this week. He is a must start in this, hopefully, shootout of a game. Another game I'm really surprised is not the Sunday night game or Monday night game.
I'm just going to point out one thing. Last week, I am very glad the Green Bay Packers game was not the Monday night game. That was an absolute terrible game. It was
bad. Yes, you're right.
So maybe they know something that you don't. Maybe they understand, like, hey, we've fixed the games enough. We told Aaron Rodgers to sit out for a week so that we could get him back for this Sunday night game.
It was a good defensive game. It was an okay defensive game.
Yeah.
17-0.
Are those the fun games to watch, though?
Those are not the fun games to watch. Those do not bring viewers. But we're about to watch the Sunday night game. Sunday night game is good, but the Monday night, New York Giants and Tampa Bay. I know Tom Brady brings ratings, but
yeah,
maybe they'll have him on the Manning cast during the game.
Yeah. After halftime, once he's up by 40 points, he'll just take his pads off. Be like, all right, guys, go in the locker room.
You're taking him minus 11?
No, I'm not betting on that game.
I don't think I'm betting anymore.
All right.
I lost last night too, bro. I took the Falcons plus 7. What the hell was that?
Why would you do that?
Because
the Falcons
the underdogs have been they're at home. The Patriots don't really, they kind of run the clock out.
Understand the law of averages is a real thing. Most of the season underdogs have been killing it, which means that it's probably not going to continue that way much longer.
The law of averages. Yes, you just said it. I should hit a bet soon. I should hit one bet soon. Law of averages.
You did. You hit the over on something the other night. You told me after.
Yeah, I hit the over and the under on one game. Not like the same game, obviously, but 2 different games.
All right. Speaking of unders, let's jump under this tight end. Oh, that sounded dirty. All right. Let's talk about my tight end sit of the week. Let's just let it go, Mike. Talk about my tight end sit of the week. We're going to talk about Dan Arnold, another guy that I've been really hot on this season so far, especially the past few weeks. This week, they're going up against the San Francisco 49ers. They haven't been very good against the tight end. I'm sorry, they haven't been very bad against the tight end. They just also haven't been very good. Only been allowing about 9.9 points per game throughout the season so far. My thing going on here is Dan Arnold's been on an absolute tear. He's been getting a majority of the pass work out of Jacksonville. I just don't think that we're looking at him taking up a big step forward again this week. I think we might see him just seem to fall back into a secondary role this week against San Francisco. Their linebacking group is absolutely immense, absolutely incredible and insane. And I think that we're looking at Dan Arnold to just be that flexible, barely streamable tight end with a little bit of upside. He might get you 5 points, but I do think that there's an opportunity that we see a complete bust out of Arnold this week. And I'm just going to be sticking away from him and going back to my studs.
All right. All righty. My tight end sit of the week is actually, that's a really good one. I like that one. I was actually going to make Dan Arnold my sit of the week too. But I ended up going Dallas Goddard.
You're a hater.
Well, listen, he's in concussion protocol currently. Okay. But he did practice in a limited fashion on Thursday. And he's looking like he's going to clear concussion protocol. But listen to this. He's only got 39 targets. He's only averaging 4.3 targets a game, which is 18th amongst tight ends. He's missed one game. Okay. And left last week early, obviously. But I don't trust this offense. I don't trust Dallas Goddard. I don't trust Jalen Hurts getting him the ball. So he's only got 2 touchdowns on the year. He's 14th right now in fantasy points per game. He's not, I think the talent is there, but going up against this New Orleans defense, plus Jalen Hurts throwing the ball, I don't like it. I don't like it. His catchable target rate is 76.9%, which is 21st amongst tight ends.
What's the rate? 79.6?
76.9.
Damn. That's 21st. That's a pretty solid number. I would have thought that would have been higher.
I mean, yeah, I would have thought it would have been nice, but obviously not.
Yeah, you're looking at your biggest issue here is Jalen Hurts doesn't throw the ball. He's thrown the ball just over 55 times in the past 3 weeks. That's a 1 week stat for most players.
Tom Brady.
If it's not for that, if Jalen Hurts threw the ball 300 yards a game, like he was doing last season, and put up these same rushing stats, he'd be an MVP of the year, without a doubt.
100%.
It'd be Lamar Jackson all over again. But this season, it's just no. Jalen Hurts saving his own butt in fantasy and ruining everyone except Devonta Smith for the rest of the team. So yeah, Dallas Goddard, though he is talented and we've seen it and do it for years now, just not able to do it when he's not getting the ball.
So, all righty, I think that's it.
All right, man.
Dope. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget, hit subscribe, hit like, hit the little bell icon. Also, you like my Atlanta Braves championship hat? Yeah, look at that. It's fresh. Just came in the mail. All right, guys. Thanks so much. John, we'll see you. Have a great day.
We will see you. Don't forget to tune in for the live stream on Sunday, as well as anything else that we do in between that. We will see you guys then.
Might be doing a live stream Friday night or Saturday. Just follow our Twitter at the Fantasy Tap. We'll let you guys know.
Or hit that bell icon, get a notification.
Yep. Oh, also one thing before we do leave, I just want to say John and I made our first trade. I overpaid for Devonta Adams, but I need him. I
was gonna see how far I could go.
Yeah. So
I didn't even ask for that. I didn't even ask for the extra second after the 2 first, and I was like, oh fuck, I guess I got to do it now.
Yeah, I made you hit that accept.
It's cool. After I did that, I got flooded with trade offers from the rest of the league, and I was like, terrible schedule. So I got it.
All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you later.